Alrighty, welcome. Well, they got Morgana because our person wanted to play it, but no one picked it for him. I guess I could have, but I had to get Lulu, I'm pretty sure, because they first picked Kog'Maw, and there's no way I can give them Koglu. Okay, so it's Morgana support. Team comp's just bad. I guess this guy, like, these two are good on their champs. So, sorry I was running late. Dude, I was doing taxes for like 4.5 hours. And I ended up turning in an hour and a half late, so we'll see. I don't know if they have a grace period or not, but might get hit with a penalty. I forgot just how complicated, I underestimated how complicated that was going to be. I was like, yeah, I get this done in like, 2.5 hours or something like that. Takes a while. Because I basically have 4 jobs, but several of them are just weird. Like, I've got the teaching, I've got the channel, which is 2 parts. It's like the donations, then the AdSense from Google, and then I've got like the investments. So it's a lot of weird shit going on. It takes a while to process, and then just a lot of adulting things as well. So
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So thank y'all for coming out all late with me tonight. I'll see if I can stay a bit later. I am a little sick too. Hopefully my voice holds up. I don't know. Hopefully it locks the screen. It did this the other day where it wasn't locking. What's up, Wings? Okay, now it's locking. I do not want the cursor to go flying over onto the other screen. It's got top chat. Change it back to normal chat. Why does it start with top chat? Who the hell does top chat? So, not a big fan of Senna, but this guy does win a lot with her. Okay, so neither team has any teleports. In true solo queue fashion. They're gonna hit 2 first, I think. I don't know, Black Falcon. Jesus, this Morgana needs to show some respect, man. This is ridiculous. If I would have taken Ignite, could have definitely punished her more, but think we might need exhaust for something like Vlad later. This game is done. I died once. 1v1 in lane. I guess it was a 2v1, but dude, God, people are just so weak-willed. It's ridiculous. Like, literally one death. I think, like, high-end streamers saying that is just so bad for the community. There might literally be some matchups. I'm just gonna have to go back to just muting all. There's just no point having chat enabled. Just mute all at the start. Yes, in pro play, it might be like almost impossible to win a certain matchup if you die early, so you can play defensively. But pros don't FF at 15. And this is a freaking like platinum/gold game. Like the enemy's gonna make mistakes. They'll let you back in the game. I promise. If you look for it. And don't give up immediately when something bad happens. It's like, oh, lost 2 points on the exam. Might as well go ahead and just fail the class. Forgot to turn in one homework assignment. Better go ahead and never come back. Got a speeding ticket. Might as well never drive a car again. It's like, just imagine if League logic applied to anything else in real life. Any thoughts on C9 failing at MSI? I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but I would say it's probably to be expected. I didn't think any team looked particularly amazing this split. Not to, like, too negatively, you know, talk about NA or whatever, but I mean, that's... Even when there's a team that completely, like, hard dominates NA, usually they have a hard time at Worlds. I mean, C9 like had a miracle run a couple of years ago, which was great. But I didn't really, like I said, I didn't watch all of their games, but from what I understand, they lost to like Dom1, right? Twice. Or no, they beat him once, but Dom1 knocked him out before. I mean, there's no shame in that. Dom1, if they're not the best team in the world, they're certainly one of the best, so. Alright, thanks, Mean Bunny. I appreciate it. Morgana's roaming. Cog got 2 kills. I probably should have just dodged this. To be honest, I'm not sure if my dodge timer's reset, though. And I don't want to get locked for 30 minutes. Sucks. And why is everyone playing Quinn lately? This is like the 3rd Quinn. I think I've had to dodge everyone. This guy's winning in CS, too, by a large margin, which is cool. But... oh, God. I'm just dead. I might have to probably flash to get out of this. Alright, shouldn't have pushed out that far. I didn't realize they were roaming like that. We're just gonna get hard invaded. Well, I mean, that's bad. Losing to the OCE team. I can't read everything right now, man. I'm trying to play, but no, I haven't read it yet. Black Falcon, sorry. I saw the UFO thing. There's something, I'll guarantee you there's some catch. There's no way the United States is going to say, like, with definitive proof, UFOs have been flying over somewhere around the world. Even if that was happening, why would they admit that? Like, that's not going to do anything except for freak people out. Even if that was true. So I'm extremely skeptical of the US admitting that. I'm not saying something like that couldn't happen in theory. But I just don't think the US would ever admit it. I just, why would they? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what purpose would that serve? I don't believe in flying saucers necessarily. I do think there's a high probability that life exists out there in the world, but we haven't been able to detect it yet. So that means that all of our current technology is probably too weak, right? For, you know, interstellar travel and stuff like that. So if someone is coming over here, like, and observing us, first of all, why would they fly this close, right? We have telescopes. We can watch shit from really far away, even with our primitive technology. So why the hell would they need to fly that close to get information about us? Like, right next to the ground, you know what I mean? Like, even with our current drone technology, we could watch shit from, like, really far away and be super small and undetectable by radar and all that shit. So that's, like, the biggest argument against spotting UFOs to me, is their technology would be so advanced we'd never know if they were watching us. They'd either be stealthed or they'd be watching us from, like, light years away. I should have just dodged. I knew this game was looking terrible. I was just so frustrated from dodging like 4 times yesterday. And I just wasn't sure if my dodge timer was reset. So that's my whole thing. It's just technologically, it just doesn't make sense. If they can travel over here, they can hide from us. They're going to have the technology to hide where we won't see them, if that's the case. So, not saying it couldn't happen, I'm just saying we wouldn't know, unless they wanted us to know. If they're just like hardcore invading or something like that, yeah, we'd probably see them, but I don't think we would see them without them wanting us to see them. I mean, I guess I just got baited by win rates. Like, our team comp's pretty garbage, but like the Senna and the Katarina both have like 60 or 70% win rates. I don't know why we're all just A-ramming. I think everyone's just kind of out of ideas. I mean, they could do it where they, like, travel, but I would think if they're coming all the way over here to look at something, which, again, I think there's, like, a, you know, almost 100% probability they would not physically come over here unless they wanted to invade for the resources. Because they could watch us from afar. I mean, we can watch shit from really far away. I mean, and they outrange us if they exist, and they are capable of coming over here. Their technology is better than ours, because we haven't seen anyone that we are able to go over and visit yet, that we've been able to detect. So, I mean, it's a cool narrative, like, it adds some mystique and stuff like that. I just think that if you think about it, you know, logically, technologically, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, maybe you could say, like, okay, they want to abduct people to study us or something like that, but again, that seems relatively primitive. I think they could probably get some sort of spectral scan or, you know, some long-range shit to get a sense of what's going on here. It is fun to speculate. So yeah, once again, that doesn't say that there can't be aliens. It's just, we're thinking about it in terms of our very limited technology and very limited understanding of how the universe and everything works. And they would be much, much more advanced than that. Like, there's a certain level of advancement where it's difficult for us to even, like, process, like, what's going on. It's so advanced. It's like an ant trying to understand Einstein, you know?
Enemy double kill. Turret plate will fall soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't really think they would. The probe is just like, why? Even with our, you know, very limited information, like we can get so much shit about information about something like Mars from a pretty big distance. I'm not saying they would even have to be light years away. They could just be like where Mars is and just be cloaked and we'd never see them. If they needed to get, you know, close to look at shit. Like, we can look at shit at Mars and tell a lot about the atmosphere and the various composition of rocks and whatever the hell else is going on there. I don't know. I mean, hell, they could probably even, like, just cloak and float at the perimeter of our atmosphere, you know what I mean? We can already do that. To some extent, right? Like, we have very small drones that stuff is not going to detect. They could very easily just send over, like, a drone or something like that, even with our own current technology, and just float above the atmosphere and probably, you know, get a pretty good sense of things. Dude, this is just, like, ridiculous. It just feels like silver versus platinum that happens. Is the WoW patch coming out this morning? Yes, it should. Normal patches are, oh god. Normal patches are like, I think they come online around 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the pre-patch, yeah. The official release patch, I think, TBC is June 1st.
Your turret has been destroyed.
There is some weird shit, but like, I'll guarantee you, if you dig down into it, you can find an explanation for it that's terrestrial. It's not extraterrestrials. Like, I could see people believing that type of stuff in like the 70s and 60s when our technology wasn't so good, right? But now that our technology is a lot better and we can see so much around, you know, it just further lends credence that they could see us from afar too, that they don't need to come here and do that. I think there's a very high probability that we are very insignificant to some kind of species or whatever that could do that, that could travel light years away. We just think we're so important. We're probably not, honestly. Like, if they have that kind of technology, like, why would they need to come here? To get our resources? They've almost certainly perfected fusion at that point. To just have, like, infinite energy. Just, like, a controlled, whatever the hell. You know, like, they just wouldn't even need to come over here. They're probably going to have infinite energy, very close to it, and they can probably, with infinite energy, you can grow your own resources, and I just don't know why they would be interested in us that much. To come over here and interact with us that much. Unless they're bored or something. I don't know. But again, they could do that remotely. They could probably bring like holograms of themselves to talk to us, or they could just eavesdrop on us, or something like that. I don't know. Like, you could drop scenarios where they might want to come over, but I think people just would not care. A lot of those types of things. I mean, maybe they want to goof around and try to come down here and pretend. Maybe they're bored, pretend they're us, or play little games with us or something like that. But I just don't think we'd be that interesting in the grand scheme of things if they know all of that about the universe and everything else. I mean, well, I think a lot of people have thought of Earth as a simulation. I've talked about this before. I know that Elon Musk has said that and other people have said that. Like, they're using different terms to describe something that basically every world religion has had that view for thousands of years, right? That Earth is basically not the true reality, that there's some greater plane of existence, and that Earth, you're doing some kind of game on Earth that might influence you in the true reality, which is basically a simulation. That Earth is some kind of proving ground for your morality, or something like that. So I think the idea of a simulation is, I mean, there might be some more nuance to it, right? But it's basically like, you know, God or whatever would be the architect that's running the simulation for whatever kind of game people theorize that he's playing. Hey, thanks, Carson. So that's very, very old concept. Now, sorry to hear that, millionaires. But yeah, I mean, it could happen. But I just, you know, I just go with the old trusty Descartes, man. That's it. I think, therefore I am. If you're thinking, then he just reasons that somewhere, somehow, some way you exist. Whether it's a dream or a simulation or, you know, whatever. Descartes has a very interesting sort of meditation on that, where he walks through all kinds of different possibilities. So he went pretty deep. And that was like the 1500s. And lots of other philosophers have, you know, similarly gone pretty deep in the hole on that. I guess it was Bandai. I'm not sure. I haven't even played against Cyan in a while, but if we're first picking Jinx. I know, it's fun. I think it's fun. It's interesting. Well, our perception is very wrong about most things. DMT might alter it, have some fun, but we really don't understand much about reality at all. Our mind just can't process it. Dude, no. Why? Oh my god. I was about to say, you better pick Jinx. I would have banned Jinx. I talk about my students with this a lot. Oh, is it lagging? Hold on. Well, we do know why. 'Cause, like, for the most part, we need a narrative. We need a story to give ourselves purpose. We have no purpose without a story, and there are lots of different ways people create stories. But the information we can extract about reality is extremely limited, right? Like, 99% of everything you see and touch and interact with is empty space. If you ever look at an atom, how much of it is, you know, protons, neutrons, electrons, and empty space? It's mostly empty space. But it feels solid. It feels like we have a really good grasp on what's going on around us, but that's just a trick of our consciousness so that we can sort of maintain a narrative that gives us purpose. It's Master Yi. I mean, I guess I just go Lulu. Lulu Jinx is so strong. Hold on a second, let me make sure I got all this. Yeah, it looks fine. Dude, what is their comp? It's like all assassins. All assassins, all AD. But yeah, so all that, and then if you think about your own memory, oh, it's way more than that. It's like 99% empty space. And if you think about like just your own mind and your memory, like how much of your actual life do you remember, like in terms of facts, factual stuff from your life? Just think of every second of every day. There's like 31.5 million seconds in a year. Think of how much of that, how many of those seconds you actually literally remember. It's virtually nothing. We know almost nothing about ourselves or everything that we saw, right? But we have these very distinct impressions of what happened to us, and we remember it if it fits into our story, if it fits into our narrative, if it influences what we think about ourselves, the world, and other people. Then we remember it because it's important, but it's very selective, and it has to fit into our story. If it doesn't fit into our story, then we're just going to forget it. So we're really not a fact-based, type of organism, right? And we really don't understand reality on sort of a factual basis. That's why rhetoric is so important. And understanding stories and how people create stories, and why they're important. And especially if you want to tap into those stories for whatever reason, to try to understand somebody, to try to sell them things, to try to create policies, public policies for things, to try to entertain people. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to understand those narratives that people create about themselves and other people. Because that's really what reality is. It's a big story that we, create for ourselves and to some extent other people. That's why English matters. Because that is reality. Reality is English. Reality is the story and language that we use to construct it, because we don't have access to actual reality. Like science can give us like some clues and some approximations, but it's never gonna really get to the depth.
Seriously, you two need a bath.
Let's not get political in the chat, please. Like, why? I do not think that's possible, Scott. I mean, I guess it depends on what we mean by remember, but I'm talking every single, data input that was going on in that second. You might be able to say, okay, yeah, I was eating lunch at 12:17, but, I mean, how many pits were in that sidewalk you were walking by, right? Or, how many birds were within your visual parameter at any given moment? Or, whatever else, right?
First blood. An ally has been slain.
How many blades of grass were in that yard you were walking through?
An ally has been slain.
Too tall. Much too
But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but...
Slain.
Yeah, our knowledge is very limited. That's why stories are important. That's why kind of the simulation theory is one of the go-to theories.
ready to roll.
I mean, even people who, claim they have photographic memory, there's no way. The brain just can't even process all that data. It's impossible. I mean, there's also no way to fact check that stuff. Hey, when you were, 6 years old, 6 years, 6 months, 32 days, and 25 hours, the room you were in, how many dust particles were in the carpet, or, something like that.
Enemy killing spree. An enemy has been slain.
And that's just dealing with the stuff that we, in theory, could actually perceive. There's an almost unlimited number of things we can't perceive, too, that are going on, like bacteria and bacterial interactions and, different chemicals and how they're interacting with each other and processing and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff is probably even more important than what we can see. Almost certainly it is. It's like, who really cares how many blades of grass there are if, you know, one of those replications goes wrong in your brain. One of those DNA replication goes wrong, and you get that double damage where you end up getting cancer, right? No way! What the fuck? Dude. What was the range on that? It was like from here to here. Like the last pixel. Oh man.
That squirrel looks familiar.
You deserve this loss, man. God, I just gotta mute. I don't even know why I have chat enabled. I say it every time. You can have memories, but the memories are impressions. They're not facts. That's what I'm trying to say. It's remembering very selective things and your impressions of those things. Not every single possible factual piece of data that existed in your sort of, in your zone at that time. No way. Okay. Wow, what? Shit, I'm just gonna die, aren't I? Yeah, he's gonna jump this. I guess the bleed. That's a fun champ. Has no boots. It still runs me down. I should have flashed slightly to the side. They're not, it doesn't matter. Like, you guys are never going to convince me that a human being can process every single piece of data in any given moment and remember it 20 years later. Like, with pinpoint, like the accuracy of a camera or something like that. People can remember a lot of things, but I would argue that it just barely scratches the surface of reality. I mean, that's fine. We can get into semantics however we want, what photographic memory is and isn't. I'm just saying it's pertinent to me. Like, what I'm trying to point out is that, you know, most of what we think about reality is a story that we create to give ourselves meaning, because we really don't have access to most of reality. I have to try to combat this early on with a lot of students because people are just so conditioned to care so much about facts. They're like, oh, this is a fact or that's a fact. It's like, facts don't mean jack shit if you don't have a story to go with it, right? Because, first of all, we just don't have access to most facts. Because people will say something's a fact, but you have to understand also all of the context around that information. And then most of what people call as a fact is an interpretation of data. And that's why narratives and understanding narratives and stories and rhetoric and all that stuff is so important. Jesus Christ. What a joke.
An enemy has been slain.
Yeah, I mean, the human mind's just not designed to work that way. That's why now, even with our still relatively weak AI, he's beat the hell out of any human playing chess or whatever. A very, you know, by most comparisons, simple AI. Because that's what, like, machines and AI are good at, that type of thing. They're not good at other types of things, but just like that type of deep analytical analysis is very difficult for humans. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You can't fact check anything. But I would just, if you work through it logically and really think carefully about it, I think it's hard to draw any other conclusions, but I guess, you know, there's no way to actually verify it scientifically. Unless, once again, you have, like, videotape or, like, of something that you were doing. I would say even impression-wise, like, even if we're remembering our impressions, I would say it's difficult to get back to that mental state. Like, yeah, I can remember something that happened to me when I was 4, or that I think happened to me, but how did it actually affect me when I was 4? How did I actually literally feel about it? Like, what was going through my mind at the time when that happened? Like, we can have very, very basic information about that, but in terms of, like, how we were actually thinking and processing information and stuff like that, I would say is largely lost, because we're going back and thinking at it from an adult perspective, right? So we can remember, oh, this made me sad or mad or something, but I don't know, just looking at how my daughter processes data and just information and stuff is just so different from how an adult would do it. A lot of times. I mean, sometimes it's similar, but, you know, the human mind's very, very interesting, especially consciousness, and how we're able to sort of subconsciously put all of this together into a story that makes sense for us so that we don't lose our minds. It makes it feel like we're one single person, and we have a single timeline, and we have a good grasp on reality, which most of that is factually a lie, right? But we feel that way, and we need to feel that way, I think, for survival. Oh my god, really? Reality's largely overrated too. People think they care so much about reality. I'm like, who cares about reality? For the most part, we don't know what it is. Just enjoy the story. I mean, some things matter that we think are real, right? But I think people just get really caught up on like, oh, if it's not a fact, if it's not 100% proven, like it doesn't have any value. It's like, I don't know. Sorry, I've got like a cold or allergies or something. So I might cough a little bit. If anything gross is going on, I'll try to mute the mic. Well, they're gonna come bottom again. Because, you know, we're just like getting completely outclassed like every game. At least we have some scaling this game. Yeah, that's right, Scott. Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. If you ask a bunch of people what they thought or what they saw, it's going to differ based on what they thought was important. You got a knock up? God. It's not because a million different things actually happened. It's because, dude, what is this guy doing? It's because people care about different things, so they're watching different things. They remember different things. Oh my god. Well, they're starting to screw up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, learning is much more exponential early on. I think kids are just genuinely curious.
Been slain.
Like, they kind of have a, I don't know. Kids are complicated. But, I mean, I would imagine that
An enemy has been slain.
they're pretty aware that they don't know a lot of stuff, so they're just naturally curious and want to learn more. Versus when people become adults, people think that they know a lot more, and so they stop searching. I think that's a huge part of it. Is they're like, alright, I got a pretty good grasp on this stuff. And there's a lot more kind of mundane or, you know, stuff like that, adulting stuff that occupies their mind, that worries them a lot more. I don't know why she went that hard, man. Just set up for another trade.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
Of course, it's the person who just ints. Like, we already had a good trade. Why did she have to go that hard? We don't like making mistakes. So that's what learning is. Learning is, you know, acquiring information you did not have before. If you already knew it, you know, that wouldn't be learning. So it's hard to learn if you're not, like, open to the fact that you may not know everything, right? Like, you can't really improve if you don't make mistakes. I guess you could, like, play super cautiously or think super cautiously, maybe, and maybe there's some way, but I would say it's very unlikely to learn a significant amount of information if you're not prepared to be wrong. Wrong is really, honestly, I feel like it's much more of a descriptive than an analytical word, because that's just like what learning is. A lot of times is changing something that you thought you knew, adding on to something that you didn't know that changes something else about your story or your understanding of the world. So even if you're learning stuff and you feel like it's not necessarily making you wrong, it's making you reassess, which is could be a version of being wrong, right? You did not have complete information. Now you have better information. So I think that's just really more of a pejorative word than a descriptive word, right? Like, it's really just more of an insult. Like, somebody's wrong about something, and everyone's so afraid of being wrong. It's like, everybody's wrong about everything. Like, we don't know shit about anything, hardly. Like, it's just to try to make some group of people, you know, feel superior to other groups of people. But the people who are doing the real innovation, you know, they're the people that aren't afraid to be wrong, you know, to do things differently. Like, no one ever became rich and famous by doing shit the same way everyone else did it, right? Unless they inherited money, I guess. But every innovation is going to be different.
An enemy has been slain.
Otherwise, like, it's not going to go anywhere. If people just play with safe information the whole time, right? It's like, hey, I discovered fire. It's like, okay, cool, but that, like, happened, you know, thousands of years ago. I mean, it's cool you found it, man, but... Yeah, so, I mean, risk-taking is actually how you become, you know, famous and make meaningful contributions to society and things like that. You don't get it by being safe and being, you know, right all the time. So I think that's something that's just, like, really kind of wrong with our culture in general, is that people are just afraid to take risks because they're afraid how other people are going to judge them. When really most, like, what most people think of you doesn't matter. Like, who cares? It really doesn't matter. There's always going to be haters. If you're successful, there's always going to be haters. Even if you're not successful. Okay. I mean, we're kind of getting back in this. They're making a lot of mistakes. What was that? Is that Thresh right there? Oh, it would have been nice if he hit that. Damn, I almost saved her. I even exhausted the Talon. Damn, dude. He's going off.
An enemy has been slain.
I think people in general just take stuff too seriously. I don't know. I mean, some stuff does deserve to be taken seriously, but... I think everyone's just, like, obsessed with all that kind of stuff. I like the old Voltaire quote. I used to have it on Facebook back when they had quotes or whatever, but... Alright, do we... I think I just go for... Go for the cooldown reduction or the on-hit? I think I just go with the on-hit. God is a comedian playing to an audience too afraid to laugh. Like a famous Voltaire quote, which I think is awesome. That's part of it. It doesn't exactly encapsulate sort of the zeitgeist of the era, right? So what everyone's sort of thinking and what's going on, but... I think it's a good chunk of it. I mean, there are real things out there that people should be concerned about, but... I'm of the persuasion that people really shouldn't freak out too much about stuff they can't really control. What the fuck? How did we lose that so hard?
Enemy.
I guess all 5 of them are there. 2 of our people weren't there. Well, I mean, Yi died immediately. Jinx should have just turned around. Like, she just walked up and just let Talon flank her. Damn.
Has been slain.
Holy shit. The fuck's going on here, dude? This guy's going hard. It's that Death's Dance, they're all AD. Death's Dance is putting in some serious work. Yeah, we really need to get this one. If we can stop them from getting soul here, I think with 6 more minutes we can take over. If we're all grouped. Dude, we gotta kill him, right? Shit. Well, they're gonna get it. I really think we should have just burned it. Cat should have zoned, and Jinx should have just stayed on it. Damn. Wow. Jinx, honey, get in there. Holy shit. If Jinx would have just auto-attacked 1 or 2 more times, I think they could have killed everybody. Really hope they're not on Baron. God, they're barely hanging on, man. It's just like, if we win 1 or 2 more fights, I'm pretty sure, like, if Zen is just with me in a fight, we just win. I'm pretty sure. It's like, we just keep taking really bad fights. Boys, why do we have 3 people going bottom? Dragon Baron is up.
Whoa.
Nice. Alright, what can we do? Can we do this? What the fuck? Oh my god.
Aced. Has been slain.
Jinx really needs to use those chompers to protect from the Talon jumping on her. She needs to chomp and just like run away. I don't know how I wasn't able to polymorph Samira. I was trying to wait on her thing to wear off. I thought we'd win that. We killed someone instantly, didn't we?
I recommend skipping.
They just have so many weight, like... I mean, I know Jinx wants damage, but honest, she just get a GA, man.
Yep. That tasted purple.
I don't know. I mean, maybe she basically windwalled my poly. I'm not sure. I was trying to polymorph the Talon, but he just kills her instantly with like the bleed. She really, against their team comp, she should have gone for the blood shield thing. I know that's like not common on Jinx, but there's just no way you live against Talon, Kiana, Yi without that shield. And doing some better damage is better than no damage. Because right now she's doing like almost no damage. So I can't really stop Talon from getting to her. I can ult her and I can exhaust Talon, but, you know, the damage is already done because he's invisible. I think we can still win. If we just get a good, clean fight. Oh, God. I mean, we knew they were there. We've had so many chances to get back in this game.
Your turret has been destroyed.
How does he get caught? Like, he's had some really good fights, but
Your turret has been destroyed.
they have one catch champion. They have Thresh.
Turret has been destroyed.
He had to have hit one of them and just chose to go in. Yeah, Jinx needed shield bow, and we just needed to take better fights.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has disconnected.
How much more damage did Samira do than Jinx, y'all think? Over or under twice as much? Place your bets now. It actually was not 2. It was 1.5. I mean, I don't even know why I'm talking to him. It doesn't matter. It's like, and he's grasping so hard to try to figure out, like, to blame other people. It's like, dude, you died 11 times. There is no universe where it's okay to die 11 times. I made mistakes in that game. I'm not trying to blame everybody else. Like, I know I made some mistakes too. There's a lot. Everybody did. Everybody was making mistakes. I mean, yeah, he was probably MVP on our team in terms of fights. Like, he had a lot of really good fights, but let me get on the other account real quick, just so I don't get those guys on my team again. You know, he took a lot of bad fights too. Like that very last one, the only way they could have started that fight is, I'm like 99% sure, if Zen chose to start that fight, if he jumped on him. Maybe Thresh grabbed him, but even so, like, we knew Thresh was there. Like, you should not get hooked by Thresh unless you're, like, under tower. And he was deep in the jungle. I mean, let me just see what happened in that last fight real quick. Look at the mini-map here. Yeah, he totally chose to take that fight. I'm watching. Yeah, he's going up. He's walking by golems right now. In the bottom right. He is deliberately walking into that jungle going for Talon. He engages on them right now. With knowledge of all 5 of them there. Like, that has nothing to do with anybody else. It's 100% you chose to take that fight. We were defending it fine. We don't have to fight that. But, I mean, there's no point. There's no point in discussing it. It's pretty clear he made a lot of mistakes, just like everybody else. I just need to mute at the start again. Just get distracted. Even if I don't like argue with people, I just get like this like kind of sigh or eye roll thing. I don't need to not do that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab a drink real quick. Alright. Well, hopefully Morgana doesn't get through. Damn it. I need to wait until the ADC locks in if I can help it. Yes or no, this guy actually plays Zaya. I'll try to be more interactive with the chat. Place your bets now. This man has more than 10 games on Zaya. Over under 10 games on Zaya. Let's see. Yep, 0 games in the last 30 days. He was gonna pick his 70% Aphelios, and he was like, wait a minute. This guy picked Rakan. I can pick Zaya. I mean, it's a 9-game sample size on the 70%, but... First game Rumble, first game Zaya. 21% Silas. Like, what is going on? This last day and a half, man. Yeah, Zaya's very hard to play, and she's out of the meta. Like, even people who can play Zaya aren't playing her right now. Her numbers just aren't as good as other ADCs. Okay, so it's probably Lucian mid. Was she? Was she played in Pro? First game Ori. First game Ori, first game Zaya. First game Rumble. Oh, no. Wait. Best Vagar NA. Oh, that is first time Silas. What? Hold on. Literally every single person on my team, actual every person, because they're mid laner. I thought Silas was the mid laner. Silas is the top laner. Literally every single person has not played a single game on the champion they picked. 4 for 4, no games on those champs. in the last 30 days on these accounts. Maybe they have other accounts. That might be a first. You can't get any more solo queue than that. It is impossible. I mean, I guess if I picked something I never played, we could go for the clean sweep. I mean, I've never seen that before. Like, literal no games on anybody. I've seen a couple people like that. Or like, you know, 5 games or something. Or low win rates, but not actual literal 0 games on each person. Oh, hell yeah, we got the honor checkpoint, though. Alright, well, hopefully that didn't give us a 30-minute dodge. I don't mind, I mean, I do kind of mind losing 10 points over that kind of nonsense, but 10 points is give or take, you know, whatever, but I don't understand why it has to be a 30-minute walkout for literal 24 hours. I mean, it's a... like, why? How about, like, it checks after 2 hours? You can at least get your 6-minute lockout. That's what they were doing. I thought that was a good bargain last year, and part of this year was... it was still 3 points for first dodge, and then 10 points for every dodge after that. But if you waited an hour between dodges, it was just a 6-minute dodge, but it was still 10 points. That might have been a glitch. I don't know. But I thought that was a fair system. You were still losing a lot of LP to dodge, but you didn't have to wait so long. It was great for streamers. And now you can't even get to 20 LP. Like, losing 10 when you were gaining 20 is like, okay, I lost, you know, half of the amount. But now it's like you're gaining like 15 or 16 in a lot of cases. Best case scenario. After you have a couple hundred games, and now you're losing like 2/3. Well, I think there's a difference between technical addiction and, or like physical addiction and mental addiction to some extent. Sugar is probably, if you count sugar as a drug, that's probably the biggest one. And sugar, actually, I think you do have withdrawal from sugar if you usually take in a lot of sugar and then you don't take it in for a while. I think you do have physical withdrawal symptoms. So I don't know if that's technically called a drug or not, but I believe sugar is physically addicting, from what I remember. My very rudimentary understanding of nutrition. There are some foods that don't have it, but it is very, very difficult to find something without sugar. Lord. Why can't we just get meta champs, man? Do we at least have experience on these champs? Please tell me like 300 Heimerdinger games. Okay. I guess the Heimerdinger is trolling, but everyone else plays their champs. I mean, sugar is just a simple carbohydrate, right? We just call it sugar. But isn't it that complex carbs, like whole grains and stuff like that, digest much slower, and your body has more time to sort of, you know, work with it, to digest it and distribute it and all that kind of stuff? Versus the simple carbohydrates, whether it's sugar or starches or whatever, give you energy very quickly, but if you don't use it immediately, then it gets stored to fat faster, I believe. That might be very elementary, but
30 seconds until minions spawn.
it's just how fast it digests, how fast you get access to that energy. Because if you don't use it relatively quickly, I think it gets stored as fat, or it just kind of floats around in your bloodstream. I don't know the effects of stevia and things like that. Stevia might be less addicting. It doesn't have the calories in it. I don't know how those differ chemically.
Minions have spawned.
Self-control is for star nerds. I choose fun.
I do know that people that drink a lot of Diet Cokes typically are not not necessarily the slimmest in the world always.
Take that, nerd.
So yeah, sugars aren't great, but I still think at the end of the day, if you just consume a set amount of calories and you burn a set amount of calories,
Has
I only
disconnected.
believe in myself.
then that can determine whether you're gaining weight or not. In a lot of situations. It's obviously a little more complicated than that, but if you're taking in 1,500 and you're burning 2,000 a day, you will lose weight.
A summoner has reconnected.
Perfection doesn't exist. Check out my hair.
I took away disabling chat altogether because sometimes I want to talk to them to call a certain thing. And I think they can still hear me even if I have them muted unless they mute me.
Doing the right thing was boring.
The thing is, sugar is just such concentrated calories. Like, you get so much of it so quickly with sugar compared to a lot of other stuff.
I do what I want.
I gotta be careful going in for a trade against Alistar. I think we can do it. I'm gonna have to do it. But
Evil never looked so hot.
Boom. Headshot.
I don't apologize for doing my thing.
alright, don't know where Scissors is.
Boom. Headshot.
Living the dream.
I mean, nutrients do matter, yeah, for sure. That's more complicated. I don't know all that for sure. But as far as, like, weight gain and loss.
Used to be a square. Then I became darkness. Woohoo!
There are always dieting fads.
I am bad because I'm
I would like to get a deeper ward in her jungle, but I also don't want to miss XP. I need to hit her some so I can get stacks too. She's not gonna step up, I don't think.
way more fun when you give up the rules. Most good guys are just kidding themselves.
my god. I maybe could have saved her. I don't know. It was gonna be weird.
If you forget my name, just call for the Lord of Darkness. Prince of Evil,
Oh yeah, most breads, unless it's some kind of special bread,
safest for
is gonna have
I do danger.
high fructose corn syrup in it.
When Zaya and I were abandoned on the desolate planet, I realized something. I don't like being alone. Oh, and spiky space squids are the worst.
I'm sure there are healthy options, but you're paying a premium for it.
I love evil. Evil loves me.
Boom. Headshot.
I dance to the beat.
They shouldn't have Psalms. How did Alistar eat all that damage instead of her? I guess she missed her trap.
Being bad feels so good.
Can't we go do that soon?
Dancing between the rules. Safety is boring.
Yeah, I just need to mute all and just play Recon every game and get to Diamond probably. To get level 2 first in lane. Yeah, Relic Shield will let you get level 2 first if you want to.
World's gonna burn.
It's hard to trade, in my experience right now, if you don't have Spell Thieves, because your mana regen is just so garbage. It's basically like you're getting a free Fairy Charm.
Good in dark.
Because the health regen is okay sometimes, but especially outside the laning phase, it just doesn't matter as much. Versus the mana regen is very good throughout the entire game. And once you transform it, yeah, it's a Fairy Charm, which is good. It's like free 250 gold, in addition to all the other gold it gives you. Because he is very mana hungry. The extra AP is also more valuable than the health, but it's not that big of a deal. The big deal is the mana regen, because you just can't trade if you're maxing W, or it's very difficult.
Evil never looked so hot.
It's very difficult to trade, because you'll just run out of mana, because your W costs 10 more per point. So it gets to like 90 when you have it maxed, which is like, you know, it's like 20% of my health pool right now. Because he has to use all 3 abilities to trade really well. Like, you gotta knock him up, hit him with the Q, and E back. Versus a lot of other champions just have one, you know, they'll use 1 ability, maybe 2 to trade. He needs all 3 to have a really good trade.
And Zaya.
Which is pretty mana intensive, so. It is riskier, because if you get completely dumpstered in lane, like, you're not going to get your wards for a long time, but... I think it's less likely you're going to get dumpstered if you can actually trade more often.
Boring.
Boom. Headshot.
An ally has been
I
slain.
do what I want. No Starguard can say the same.
Sunway. What is that? A bread type? I get Nature's Own.
I don't apologize.
My wife makes fun of me. Oh, Subway. My wife makes fun of me for getting a premium bread, but man, it tastes good. I'm gonna go ahead and get my charges off of this. Shit. Alistar's coming. I can't.
Living the dream. The dream of darkness.
Lettuce is empty calories. That can be a good thing. You know, vegetables can make you feel full, but they just don't have a lot of calories because they're mostly water and nutrients. So if you're trying to lose weight, that can be a good thing. Just drink a lot of water, eat a lot of vegetables. Or like whole grain, because your body doesn't even digest half of the whole grain. Just eat a bunch of whole grain pasta and vegetables. You'll feel really full, but then your body just isn't going to get a lot of calories out of that. I think whole grains balance out. I don't remember everything they do. I think they help with your cholesterol, and they might even help with like your sugar levels. That's for Khan. Just roll up, completely turn the fight around. From like 2 screens away.
Ally has been slain. Godlike.
Yeah, they control blood glucose levels. I mean, that's the thing, is like, I think whole grains are just the key. Living healthy, just eat a bunch of Quaker oats or like whole grain pasta. It just undoes a lot of bad things. Cleans out your digestive tract. Fiber is the savior.
Most good guys just find themselves. We're gonna go stare in the mirror. It's daily affirmation time.
I need to start eating better for sure.
Stars are just sad, lonely light bulbs floating in space, revolving endlessly in a cycle they can't control. Anyone have chocolate? I'm craving chocolate.
Diagram.
How do the Star Guardians see anything? Their sparkles are so darn sparkly.
Might get flanked here.
The universe tends towards chaos. I'm just helping it along.
God, it's gonna be really hard for them to stop this siege with Dinger plus Caitlyn.
I don't know.
Huh? Did he get him? I don't know. I think he messed up.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Alright, we can use Rift to crack middle here. We do actually have a pretty good siege comms. It's hard for them to dive us with Recon. Alistar's had enough. Yes! Dude, it got the charge off with 2 HP left. If Alistar hadn't tilted there and just stalled a little bit longer. Well, that's the problem with Alistar. More modern supports are just gonna bust him up. You're paying such a high premium with Alistar to have that really good engage, where you can still have really damn good engage on Recon, and you just do a lot more. My daughter hates pizza. I don't know why. Like, not really hates it, like 100% refuses to eat it, but like she just does not like pizza. We're just like, what's wrong with you? Who are you? Start asking my wife some questions.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I don't know, man. We never served her a nasty pizza.
Let's destroy everything they
Pretty much always give her like cheese, just plain cheese pizza. Didn't give her anything like wild, like liver pizza or something, you know, that would turn her off from it. Oh, she loves milk. Yeah, she drinks a lot of milk.
It's less complicated.
Maybe it's a texture thing. I don't know. Wait, why are we not around this objective? Caitlyn's here.
An enemy has been slain.
World's gonna burn.
You know, they do have, like, they have had pretty good vision, despite being so far behind.
Has been slain.
Darkness is the new
I just can't win with Lulu, man. I think I've just got to ban her. Or just ban Jinx. I don't know. Like, she's very strong. I can respect it. I just don't win with that champion consistently over time. I don't know what it is. Yumi, I was doing all right with Yumi for a while, but
call for the Lord of Darkness. It's able to be
really it's just Recon. I have had like negative win rates with Recon over some periods of time this season. Like, I've had some bad Recon moments for sure, but
My cloak is woven from the whispers of stars.
I just think consistently over time,
The galaxy.
that's just my best champ for the last like 3 years.
Ooh,
If I would just play Recon every game, I'd probably probably be higher. Pretty much the perfect one trick. He's good in all kinds of different situations. No one ever picks him or bans him. Even when he was really good in like pro, people were not picking him or banning him that often.
An enemy has been slain.
A summoner has disconnected.
Zyro is pretty good, but it's like modern, you know, with modern day League, since the change of the runes and stuff like that, like I just feel like Zyra hasn't been the place to be since like season 6, probably, maybe 7. I don't remember exactly what changed. I think just a lot of the other supports just did better with the new runes and new items. I think it's a huge thing. I think it was the Ardent Sensor meta that changed it. I think the Enchanter items just got too strong relative to the AP items. They just got like, you know, they're about like here. You know, Ardent Sensor was a thing. It wasn't as good before the buffs. There was no redemption. Locket was good, but it was also pretty expensive. And so you really weren't like paying that much of a premium to get, you know, your Leandries, which I think was like 28 or 2,900 gold. To get the Leandries and then Rylai's, like, wasn't that much more expensive than a lot of other Enchanter items. Oh yeah, I was way on the Ardent train before everybody. I was like, Ardent Sensor, busted. Redemption, busted. That was like in the season 6. It was like pre-season to season 7 or something. They changed it. Chicago anything is overrated. We don't gotta hate on Chicago. Best poke. She's pretty good. I think Maokai's probably the best, but... Thanks for being with me so long too, B Seraph. So what's up? You ready to I guess you're sticking with Druid. Are you boosting anything? You gonna be ready to run some dungeons with me or what, man? I'm gonna run the hell out of some Strat and Dire Maul. I kind of want to do Lower Blackrock Spire. There's a quest for druids that gives you like a rejuvenation idol. It's supposed to kind of be a pain in the ass. Have you done that quest yet? Well, maybe I should try that more, the 2-1-2. Having 1 extra point in Q would give you better poke early. Maybe I am playing her too passive early on with Guardian and Shield Max. It might be. Um... Zach's kind of annoying. What's up, Florian? Yeah, I might on the weekends. Oh no. Does he actually play Zaya? Or does he just looked at my record and saw that I play Rakan? Of course. Dude, everyone just really wants to play Zaya with Rakan. He does have some Zaya games, I guess. But yeah, I mean, maybe on the weekends. It's hard to stream without fully committing to a time to it. Like, to a time for it. But maybe I can try streaming it on Twitch or something. God, Rel is such a pain in the ass. She really is exceptionally annoying to go against as Rakan. I mean, is this even gonna matter though? I think I'd rather just have the health. Because if I get to, like, the CC is already gonna be done by the time I get to low health. Maybe if I clip the Kaisa just beyond, wow, electrocute on Rel. So yeah, that's the problem with like Warhammers. It's just hard for me to commit to a lot more streaming because, you know, I've just got some real life stuff going on, and with League streaming, I usually stream like 3 hours a night anyways on League. So that's 21 hours a week streaming League. Then I have to make the standalone content, but I do record Warhammer anyways. So there's that argument. I've had people, you know, tell me that before. If you're recording Warhammer anyways, why don't you just stream it? And that's true. And that's a good point. But
30 seconds until
when you stream, I feel like you kind of have to commit to at least like 2 or 3 hours to stream. And sometimes it's difficult to do that. Like sometimes I just have time to record like one episode, you know?
With you was very romantic. I want to go back.
Well, try not to die then.
Like sometimes it's nice just to say, hey, I'm just gonna get one game in here before I go to bed after League or something,
What
or
would you do if I did?
you know, I've got an hour before
minions
I have to,
spawned.
you know, go do whatever before I'm gonna go to the park with my daughter and just, you know, record a game there. There you go, Dave. Nice. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on
What
there.
are those things humans wear on their feet?
Shoes?
I need shoes. Red ones. I need them so bad.
But I would like to do it. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I can try it out and just see.
Hungry? Can we talk about this later?
Wish I could just stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but
Do this.
last time I heard they don't like that if you have any sort of monetization, so.
Thank you, honey.
You love it when I slap fools.
You know it.
Can I knock her up while she's going in? Or is she unstoppable with that W? I think I can maybe knock her up.
Darling.
Yes.
Nope, doesn't work. Or at least it's extremely difficult to time it. Get that clowny electrocute Rel out of here, man. Come on.
An enemy has been slain.
Marry me today.
Ask me again tomorrow.
An ally has been slain.
Sky,
It's lovely.
not as beautiful as
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Where are we going?
You forgot the plan.
No. Yeah. Hey, have you seen his cape? May I disrupt? I want to see. How do you like it today?
More than yesterday, less than tomorrow.
An enemy has been slain.
I'm so tired.
Gotta rest, honey.
Everyone is depending on me.
Everyone. Wait.
Okay, last time it was totally my fault.
What was?
Good answer.
You stunning and
Why, thank you, darling.
yes. I definitely talking about you, honey.
Beautiful, baby. Okay.
Thank you, honey.
Hey, Zaya.
Yeah?
You sexy. Why do you never say this?
Because then I wouldn't get to hear you ask.
Thanks, man. Aw, you were looking out for me.
Do you love me because I'm beautiful or because I'm sexy?
Not now.
Love is so cruel.
Ally has been slain.
Oh my god. So many like high flying champs. Rakan's not that great against stuff that like flies in. Zack's a really rough one. It's hard to peel that. Especially because he does like AoE around him. So I'm gonna get hit by stuff if I try to peel it.
An ally has
They're
been
scared
slain.
of darkness. They're scared of magic. They are scared.
Enemy has been slain.
That's pretty cool. It resets tower aggro when he does that. Kaisa got that. This feels bad.
Can we just stay here?
We must keep moving.
Oh.
She's at the longsword. Oh, because we got boots instead. I guess that makes sense against Rel. Well, that's what junglers do, man. It's not a 1v1 game.
You okay?
I'm fine.
You're pushing yourself too
That's a huge part of the skill expression in League is learning how to play around junglers. Why haven't I muted everybody yet? Please just run. Don't let her just ignite you randomly. So fucking dumb. Like, who could predict she was gonna do something? Like, either ignite, or flash, or Q, or just anything. Why did Zaya have to be there? 100% Evelyn was gonna kill him. Evelyn is a great carry champion. Like, there's no need to do that. That's so frustrating. You give away a free kill for no reason. On like a 100%, she was dead.
Thanks. Not saying I told you so.
I need to know when the action's coming.
You know I love it.
Cut it out. We're being evil.
Oh my god, real? Okay, we got her. Man, we both flashed for that. It was rough.
What's after this?
The road? Another horizon.
Good. Zaya?
Shut
I
down.
think we got a problem.
Think
Huh.
or no?
I know we got a problem.
It's not good. Well, Evelyn has everything, so.
Enemy killing spree.
What would you do if I died?
I would burn this world to the ground and build
Zed
a
getting
castle
fed.
from the ashes.
Dude, Zed is like always
Love
fed.
forever.
It feels like.
Oh, that's sweet.
You can beat him despite that, but it feels like he's always gonna get like. He's always gonna get his chance.
What are those things you use on your feet?
Shoes.
I need shoes. Red ones. I need them so bad.
Sucks Zaya's not getting any of these, but.
It's gonna be okay.
We can do this.
Hey, I know that. Darling.
Yes.
You have slain the enemy. Enemy has been slain.
I need you to be more careful.
If anybody's gonna die first, it's God. Can't see it die. Also,
She still has her ult.
terrible color.
I'm not gonna stay because she should be able to ult away from Zac if he rolls up, but I'm basically dead if I get hit. He could probably even just roll up and smite me. How low I was.
Try and test me?
I dance because I'm free.
God, she has 6 assists. So brutal.
An ally has been
Magic
slain.
is supposed to be scary. Love is supposed to hurt. Ecstasy needs a little.
Damn. I feel like he could have had me if he sequenced that better.
Shut down.
You gonna marry me today?
Ask me again tomorrow.
I always do.
Alright, we have Gale Force. Like, assists are worth something. They're worth half a kill. No, she just used all of her abilities, so we gotta wait. It's like an 8-second cooldown.
What? Did you say something?
Turret plating will fall soon.
I think they underestimate my charm. How is that even possible? They ain't here.
He's...
Enemy killing spree.
Think on.
Oh, why did you use that, though? I mean, I guess maybe it's trying to bait for him, but...
How do you like me today?
Baby! Baby! Baby!
Hey, Zaya.
Yeah?
Sexy.
Bill Connolly, hell yeah, dude. Kale's getting kind of strong. I don't know how she turned it around on Volibear so hard. Maybe she just baited him under tower a lot.
I wouldn't get to hear you ask.
They're so scared to try.
Bring in the
Ah.
What do you want to do later?
I could think of something.
I don't have my sweeper. How are we only up 5 CS? We've killed them 8 times in the bot lane.
Do I make you happy, Rakan?
Every day of my life.
Jesus.
If you don't want to go with me,
No, I want to.
and you don't need to change outfits 20 times before we leave.
Enemy rampage.
Freedom fighting is a good one.
Shut down.
Do you love me because I'm beautiful?
I don't know if this front bush is warded or not.
Not now.
Yeah.
So cruel.
Alright, we gotta get all these bushes cleaned. Maybe I could roam middle off of that or something. Yeah, Zach's around.
I am Raka.
What's with the accent?
Trying something new. You like it?
No. No, I do not.
Alright.
Can we just stay?
She benefits pretty heavily from cooldown reduction, so...
You okay?
I'm fine.
You're pushing me.
Oh my god. Why didn't you just ult, Eve? Did she? She waited way too long. She waited until
Not saying I told
Kale got out of that stun.
Ally has been slain.
Oh, crap. I hate having an ass plan.
Oh, I love you.
Cut it out. We're being eaten.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Like, no one else is here? Yeah.
They're too busy making stupid high school plans. Suppose they're gross losers.
Alright.
I'm so fine, I gotta kiss myself. If it don't get out of control, it ain't a party.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I think you intimidate human females. That's the idea. Looks right. Time to show it.
I mean, not having Zeke's for Zed is a little troll, but you need to start protecting Baron.
I need to see if people can see how awesome I am. They ain't seen moves like mine. Nobody's here. What's happening?
I don't want a war.
I mean, they're gonna get bot tower for free if we don't do something with this.
Who is that gorgeous thing over there?
Now's not the time, darling.
It's always the time.
Dude, get out, get out! I guess that's the distraction, maybe. Why can't we just do Baron? Like, they have no vision.
What's after this?
The road? Another horizon.
Zaya? I think we got a problem.
Think or no?
I'm kind of low.
Oh, we got a problem?
I mean, I guess they were a distraction, but we could have just taken it really quickly. Like, we knew they weren't there.
I need my love to hurt. I need the world to.
I W'd into him just in case he was going to randomly just E the pit or something.
I feel good.
What would you do if I died?
I would burn this world to the ground and build a castle from the ashes, or I would live alone forever.
Sweet.
You can't tell me you weren't impressed.
With what?
Just generally. I'm amazing. I dig seeing stuff. What are those things? Shoes. I need shoes. Red ones. I need them so bad. They will see my dance. Then they will know magic's joy. It's beautiful. Coming, guys.
so annoying this tower doesn't actually walk up.
Darling.
Yes. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Gonna marry me today.
Is my cloak right?
Yeah, Rakan, I mean, he just feels so good.
Worried there for a second.
Just the vision control, just the control of fights, just so many different ways you can use him. So mobile, man. Just feels like I'm playing with concrete sneakers. I'm playing like Lulu or something.
Has been slain.
Oh, they're done. They've had enough.
Victory.
That Zaya did play really well. I think Putin's good for his country. I think it's difficult to deny that. Right? It's just, how do you feel about, you know, like, that's not the question. It's what he's done in, was it like Chechnya and like this other stuff. And it's not that the U.S. doesn't do questionable stuff too, but I don't think a lot of people doubt Putin's effectiveness for, you know, raising up some poor Russians. Now, you know, people would critique him on the lines of kind of a civil liberties type of thing, suppressing various groups in there, international politics, you know, and just general corruption. But, you know, not to say the U.S. doesn't do a lot of that stuff too, but I don't think the critique would be the average citizen is worse off now than they were in the 90s, right? Yeah, so it's not like the results they would critique, it's the means. I think. But anyways, I mean, a lot of people would argue it doesn't matter. I mean, if I was a Russian, would I rather be living today under Putin, or would I rather be living, you know, under the 70s or 80s? You know, all of his predecessors. But, you know, so it's like, it could be a lot better if he didn't do these things and didn't do those things, but would he be able to get the same results if he didn't? I don't know. It's really complicated. I'm not an expert on Russia's situation, but Russia was dealt an extremely bad hand, and so was China, coming out of their communist stuff. And then some of these people, you know, that we think of as, you know, kind of being these, you know, running over these democratic values and things like that, have gotten good results for their people, at least the middle class people, the people that aren't silenced or exterminated or whatever to some extent. So it is hard, kind of like Mandarin saying, it's really hard to critique some of these things fully if you don't know a lot about the situation, and especially if you haven't been there again. But it's complicated. I mean, the U.S. has a lot of complicated stuff going on too. But anyways, okay. Well, that's gonna be it for tonight. I need to go to sleep for a little bit, just because I am feeling a little under the weather. I think it's allergies, but it's totally possible that I could have picked up strep or something like that. I accidentally did drink after my friend that we haven't seen in a long time. The other day, I thought it was my iced tea, but it was his iced tea. So it's possible that he had something. I don't know. But yeah, so I might have some strep. I might have just allergies. I don't know. But I'm definitely not feeling 100%. So I guess we'll go ahead and cash out on that. We did get a couple of wins, which is really nice. And then hopefully I can be back tomorrow on time. Now that I don't have taxes, I don't have school, hopefully I can be there on time. Making a tutorial on it. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'll be on most of the day on WoW. My new druid, trying to level some stuff up, run some dungeons, get some gear. Going to be running a lot of battlegrounds, so if people want to get together and run some battlegrounds, Alterac Valley has my best offhand, I think, until level 70. Certainly for a very long time. I have to be exalted, though, so I'm not sure if I want to play that many games of Alterac Valley and get stomped that many times as Alliance, but I mean, if I have to play some games anyways to get there, I don't know. I'll have to do some calculations and try to add it up. I mean, my favorite is probably the zone control one. I forgot what that one's called. Not Alterac Valley. Isn't there another one? Not the Capture the Flag, not Alterac Valley, the other one. That's my favorite one. But I don't know if it has any good gear for me. I'll have to check it out. But I know that Alterac Valley has the offhand, which is very, very good. And there is the one-handed rank 14 mace. The rank 14 mace is extremely good. I think that's best until 70 also. So I definitely want those two items. And then just a few pickups from Strat and Dire Maul, and I'll probably be good to go. But yeah, I'll be around. And then I'm going to be leveling up professions. Going to be doing tailoring and alchemy on the druid. So anyways, I'll be around a lot tomorrow, and then we'll be streaming League. I did do an ADC support, or an ADC tier list, didn't release it today, so I just had a bunch of adulting stuff. I was taking care of my daughter, trying to mess with the taxes, all that kind of stuff, but I should be able to release that tomorrow. Then I'll have some new Total War content tomorrow for you as well. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Have a good day, and we'll see you everybody next time.